Fort that never was engaged in battle, thankfully. But this fort is celebrating its 200th year this year. It was built in 1824.
Wow.
And is now, in 2024, is 200 years old. But when this fort was built, this was still an ancient way of cooking. They might have had a clam bake right here in the fort, the soldiers. It was very popular back in the 1800s to have clam bakes here in Rhode Island. Still popular today, obviously. But this is a form of cooking developed by the Native Americans in New England. All over New England, it is, I was just talking to a gentleman who was talking about clam bakes in Maine. And so you'd see clam bakes here from Rhode Island up to Maine. But the way we do this, so we scraped away the ashes. So you had just hot rocks. Then, the most important ingredient, right here. This is what makes a clam bake here. This is rockweed. And rockweed, this is why you can only have a clam bake here in New England. It doesn't grow in California, it doesn't grow in other parts of the country. It grows on the rocky shores of New England. And we go out, my helpers and I, we go out and pick this off the rocks right around Fort Adams. And we pick it off the rocks, and this is the key element. When it's time, when the rocks are all down and heated, we put layers of seaweed on top of the rocks. And because this seaweed is very hardy, it's very rubbery, it's got bubbles in it, and those bubbles contain air. The seaweed itself is covered in salt water. From the seaweed produces steam. It's that steam from the seaweed that cooks the food.
Cool.
So it's the seaweed that's the most important ingredient.
That's right.
It cooks the food and flavors the food. The smell that you smell, that's the seaweed itself. All the flavoring from the bake today comes from this right here, seaweed.
Interesting.
So,
How many pounds of seaweed does it take to do this?
well, that's a great question. I had two large, I pick them by the garbage can full. Clean garbage cans just used for seaweed. All right?
Good.
So I had 2.5 garbage cans. So imagine 2 garbage cans, 2 very large garbage cans, 2.5 of those filled with seaweed. In any case, we put all the food on top of the seaweed in racks, covered up with a clean sheet, covered up with 12 layers of canvas, wet canvas.
Wet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we hope for the best.
How long do you cook it for?
2 hours. 2
Wow.
hours. Hopefully, drum roll
Oh, I can
please.
see
Did it
it.
work? Did it work? Did it work?
Wowee, look at that. Oh my goodness.
Perfect every time. Yes, so what you have here, you have Rhode Island lobster. And so if you're wondering what's the difference between Rhode Island lobster and Maine lobster, the main difference is the accent. You have cerise sausage right here. Cerise sausage is a Portuguese sausage, very mild. It's
Like
not
a
spicy.
kielbasa.
It's a smoked sausage. It's, as I said, a Portuguese sausage. We have a large Portuguese population here in Rhode Island.